Hey guys, Mr. Brooks here, just wanting to let you know exactly what we're going to be doing for the rest of the semester. It really does suck that we can't come to class anymore. However, I'm going to try to make this hopefully as painless as possible for the next foreseeable future. Everything is going to be conducted online, and I have a document that I am going to be sharing up on Canvas, and I wanted to share it with this as well. And it's going to list out everything that we're going to be doing for the rest of the semester and the next proceedings on what we're going to be doing with homework, tests, and also the final exam. And here we go. So I'm going to share it now. All right. So what you're going to see here is the very first thing I wanted to talk about was, since we are missing a week worth of courses, we are going to be removing chapter 10, and so that way we can focus solely on series and sequences, which is all chapter 11 is. So that will be some of the first lectures that you will be seeing posted on Canvas. The next thing, obviously we cannot do physical office hours. So what I'm going to be doing is doing discussion boards in lieu of office hours. First of all, I'm going to be posting a discussion board after every single lecture. So then that way, if you have any questions or comments or concerns about any of the information that is covered in that lecture, you can ask me then. The nice thing about discussion boards versus using the chat feature for office hours is, yes, it's not going to be as real time for answering questions. However, you'll be able to post pictures or videos. So if there's something that you're working on, so you tried a problem in the book and something's just not matching up, it's not giving you the answer that you need, then I'll be able to address that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold those discussion boards open for an extended period of time, probably a week, and then address the concerns that you have, maybe even sooner than that, because more than likely, if one of you has a question, then more than likely everybody else is going to have a similar question. And decided not to ask. So what I'm going to do is, once I look at some of the questions, see what the concern is, I will address that in either a lecture video or some written format and post that up on Canvas as soon as possible. So I'll have the discussion open for a week, but doesn't mean I won't respond until a week later. It means I'm going to look through there, and if there are some big concerns, then I will address those immediately and let you know. Again, the big advantage here is that you can post a picture. So if you're working on a homework assignment and you're like, man, I'm just not getting this one part, I'm getting stuck, you can post that, and then I can give you guidance on that part. The next thing, so that's how office hours is going to work for this. So it might give you a better option to come and actually chat it out in that sense. Every once in a while, I will be doing a dedicated couple hours for hosting a Zoom conference. I know Zoom is going to be ran by pretty much every single other university in the United States and not the world. So it could be very intermittent. So we're not going to rely fully on that. So that's why I'm leaving the discussion boards for the dedicated office hours. All right. So then that way you don't have to have always a face-to-face with me, but you can do this. So it's less personal in that sense. All right. The next thing. I will be posting both blank handouts and filled in notes, just like before. You're going to have those ahead of time before I post the lectures. And so it'll be just as if you miss class, you can look through these lectures, notes, and hopefully get everything that you need from that. I will also be posting video lectures. This is typically my first one that I recorded for sequences is the full length lecture. It's 59 minutes because it covered 2 days worth of lectures for us. But they're typically, I'm going to try to keep them between 15 and 25 minutes. So then that way, one, you're not hearing me ramble on for an hour or more to hear about what's going on with sequences of series and stuff like that. So this way, it's a shorter video. You've got time to pause. And that's going to be the nice thing too, is you'll have time to pause, walk away from it, especially if you don't want to hear my voice the whole entire time. You can also mute it. Most of the time it will be a screen capture of what I'm doing on my tablet. So you'll just hear the audio and then see my written work going along with it. So it will be synchronized for that part. in that sense. I will either be posting a direct link to my Google Drive for each lecture, and or a dedicated YouTube channel that I'm going to try that I've just created, that I will have those lectures posted for you for that one. And we're still going to try to go in time with what we were supposed to be covering. I know we are missing this week, so we are going to pick up where we left off with 8.5, which was dealing with probability. So we are still going to revisit that, and then start into chapter 11 and go through chapter 11 for the rest of the semester. Again, with these lectures, what I suggest is if you're more for a just reading through the lecture notes and that's how you can get information, go for it. You're more than welcome to do that. However, that's why I'm posting the videos as well, so that way you can hear somebody else's voice. So that way you're not hearing your internal voice and you're like, okay, I get it, but also I'll be explaining as I go through. So my lecture notes will not have some of my explanations written, but I'll be talking through the procedures as we go through. So it will be beneficial for you to hear that. Again, you don't have to listen to it in one setting. I'm not going to make a requirement that you log in and listen to lecture 11.1 in one setting. Take your time through it, take a break, understand what we're talking about, rewind it if you have to, that type of thing. And again, this is going to be more on you guys, so I want you to make a dedicated time for it. So then that way you can focus solely on it. But if you need to take a break from it, you're more than welcome to. I'm not there to tell you what to do on that part. So this is going to be more of a push on you guys for that situation. All right. So next up is homework, talking about it. So we are still going to have homework. It might be less than what we typically deal with. We will be either using, you can submit, if you have a tablet of some sort, so if you've got an iPad, a Surface, or anything that you can do written notes on, that's perfectly fine. If, however, you do not have access to one of those, handwritten assignments is okay. Just scan it in, or by taking a picture and submitting it in a PDF format. That is one thing that we require, one, because you don't have to upload a major file, and that could take up, for those that are worried about data usage and whatnot, this is something that you can do pretty quickly. And I will be posting the video, at least I do not have an iPhone, but I do have an Android, so I will be posting the video, real quick, simple screencast of how to convert your pictures and add them into a PDF file if you don't know already how to do that. If you do know how to do that, that's great. Just making sure that everybody's on the same page. Again, one thing I am going to be adding to this is for all homework assignments, this is also going to go for tests as well. You must include a signature on every page submitted. So if you do not have a signature on there, I will take points off for that, and it will also take away from the legitimacy of your written assignment. So take note of that and make sure that you either at the top of the page or the bottom of the page, it doesn't matter where, and it's probably I'm gonna make it dedicated to either top or bottom of the page, that you sign your work. So then that way you are taking ownership in that work, and if you do cheat off of somebody, then you are held accountable for that. So honor code is still going to be applied there. Again, you guys are allowed to work together if you want to get into a Skype group or Zoom group or Google Hangouts, whatever you want to do. The more the merrier for that part. But again, you must submit your own homework. Okay. Handwriting must be clear and legible. I will be given a grade of 0 if I cannot read your work. This is something that is definitely needed for this. I can't come and knock on your door, or of course I can't really do that to begin with, but I can't come back and say, hey, I need you to resubmit this. That will not happen with this. So if your handwriting must be clear and legible, order it will be necessary, so no missing steps. So what I mean by that is if you have questions 2, 3, 4, and 5, that's the order that I want to see it in. It will no skipping around. Okay, I need it in that order because it's going to help me, one, grade quicker, and also give quicker feedback to you guys on that. All right, I will, in order, I know things are going to be running amok at the very beginning, especially next week when things start off, but I will be conducting a trial trial run to fix any issues that may pop up. And it's going to be a simple one-page assignment. And it's not going to be probably math related whatsoever. It's going to be something, hey, submit this, draw a picture, something. And I'll give more guidance on that later this week so you know what to expect. But again, it's just to make sure that everything's working right. And if there is some issues, we can fix those together. Again, this must be in a PDF file. That way it's easier for everybody. PDFs are real nice because there's no issues with any formatting that can go on. Like if you download a Word document, there are sometimes issues with which word that you use, which version of Word. And so that's to ease any issues that we might run across. All right. And again, I'll be creating a screencast of that and posting it also on Canvas to let you know the proceedings from there. All right, WebAssign. WebAssign is going to continue as normal. Yes, we did have some WebAssign problems that were due this week and the previous week back during spring break. I am going to be extending those. So if you did miss it, this is a great time for you to make up those problems. Again, once new WebAssigns go live, you will have 1 week to complete it. Just like the normal format. Again, I just wanted to put that on here to remind you that that's what the proceedings are. And it's typically going to be a Tuesday, Thursday. I might change this up to be assigned on a Friday and due on a Friday, so then that way you're a little bit more dedicated on that part. So then that way it's a Friday to Friday thing. But I will let you know as soon as we start with the next proceeding. So again, if you did miss those assignments, don't worry about it. We will be conducting those, and I'm going to give you plenty of time. The extension is going to go to next Friday once I get those extensions done. I haven't done it yet, but it will be completed by the end of this week. So then that way you have a full week to go back and work on those. All right, so that's WebAssign. WebAssign, again, is conducted as normal. There is going to be some that are going to be missing just because we are not dealing with Chapter 10 anymore. All right, test. This is going to be the weird part. We had a test scheduled for this coming week, and so we are going to move that to Friday. It will still cover the same amount of information that we are. I'm not going to add anything new. So that's I guess the nice thing for you guys, what you have been studying for, practicing for, that's still going to continue. It's going to be on Friday. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a 24-hour period to complete it. So it is going to be a take-home test, which means that the length of this is going to be similar. I'm going to try to keep it similar to what we've dealt with in class, so that way it's not a big change. But this means the problems can be more intricate. So you still might have only 10 to 15 problems to do, but they might be more labor intensive when it comes to it. So then that way you're applying more concepts and ways to solve integrals. I want you to push yourselves on that. Again, the level of difficulty is not going to change. So our typical problems that we've seen on tests before, that's going to maintain that same difficulty level. It's just you might have a more intricate problem to deal with. Right? Again, a 24-hour period to complete it. And it will also, I'll give you a week's notice. So this is kind of your more than a week's notice before that one begins. So it will start Friday. The reason I'm giving you a 24-hour period is, one, there's going to be people that are in different time zones, either here locally in the United States or internationally. So I'm giving you plenty of time to be able to take it. If you have bad internet at your house or anything like that, go steal some internet from McDonald's if that's the case, or anything, or a local library to do that. All right, so that's something to give you plenty of time. And if you are running into issues, let me know. This is something that we can work out, and this is why I'm giving you a week's notice before each test, and also the prescribed tests we have seen already when they're supposed to be happening. So those are typically going to fall into the same dates anyways. So what we have right now, those are still our prescribed dates that we're going to do it, but I can move those around, and I'll give you plenty of notice for that. Again, it's going to follow the same protocols for homework, but again, we have a restricted 24-hour period here. So PDF format, signed at the bottom of every page, clear and legible handwriting. So no arrows, no lines anywhere like that saying, oh, my work's on the back of the page and whatnot. I want it to be clear and concise when you're dealing with this. So I don't want to see intermingled problems. So if you have to write on a separate page, write on a separate page and submit that. That's perfectly fine. So just as long as I see your work and it's clear and legible and in the right order. Okay. Final exam will be conducted in the same format as tests. So it is going to be considered a take-home, same proceedings, PDF format, signed at the bottom of the page, clear and legible writing, and organized. It will have to be completed by when our scheduled final exam was going to be. So 3:05 on May 12th, I think is what it was. That's when the final date is going to be on that part. So there will be an end time to it that you will need to get it completed. So that's something that we do want to make sure that that is done in that time format, because I can get it graded, and then that way by the end of the semester you know exactly what grade you're going to be making. All right. One other thing, I wanted to do some reassurances. I kind of did that at the beginning of this, but I wanted to take a moment and let you guys know I do care about your education and your performance in the class, but first and foremost, I also care about your safety. So during this time, because it's brand new for all of us. I've never gone through one of these things, and I hope that this never happens again. But if you do get sick during the middle of this, first take care of yourself, and then let me know if it affects anything that you're going to be turning in, and so me and you can work out a particular solution for that. So if there's something like, man, I cannot get it in by the date that it's due, we'll work it out. But give me notice, let me know what's going on. And you guys have been really good about that already, especially with how the flu was going on at the beginning of the semester. So you've done a really good job. Just continue to do that. Let me know what's going on. All right. Again, this is a new type of thing for all of us. So I'm figuring this out as we go, but I do have a good game plan. That's why I went through this video to go through it. However, I want you to do your part. Okay, so part of it's on me. I will be posting the lectures and everything in a timely fashion, but I want you guys to focus on your material, listen to the lectures, push yourselves, and also learn something. That's what the whole goal of this is. That's what you have paid to do, and that's why you've come to Virginia Tech, and this is something that I want you guys to do. I want you to walk away saying, I did learn something from this, and not that Mr. Brooks makes goofy videos. So I want you guys to be able to do this, all right? So I know it's going to be hard for a lot of you guys because you're used to having that physical format, sitting in the classroom, getting things done. So this is going to be more of a challenge for you guys. Some of you are going to do great. Like, man, this is what I've been waiting for. I can't wait to do this again. But I want you to, for those that are going to have issues, set a time. Be like, okay, if you want to, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, when we had our normal class, if you want to do listen to your lectures during that time, do it, because then that's something that you have maintained throughout the whole entire semester. All right. The good thing with this is my lectures might be a little bit longer, so that's probably, you don't want to hear that part. But the reason that that's a good thing is I get to do a more thorough explanation as we go through these problems. And so that way I'm trying to mitigate as many issues that may arise as we go through this. But guys, the biggest thing is I want you to stay safe, and I hope that when you return in the fall that we get to have a face-to-face, and I hope everything turns out right. And so this is going to be the end of my video. And again, I look forward to this new challenge. There are some good advantages that come out of this, that I do get to be more thorough for you guys, so then that way you have a better explanation instead of being crammed in a 15-minute lecture. But again, I'm going to try to keep everything in that time frame because that's what you're accustomed to, and I don't want you to be pushed past that. All right, so you guys have a wonderful day. I know you've enjoyed the time off, but next week we are getting back into the swing of things, and I look forward to hearing from you guys.